Will you shut up about the goddamn dress? For what it's worth, I saw gold and white, but if you saw black and blue, guess what? I don't care. Hey everybody, Grego Fabulous here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Craigslist Flippin', the series where you get to see what I buy off Craigslist that I either keep for myself or flip for a profit. Now when it comes to the comic book game, I haven't had much luck on Craigslist, probably because I'm a fake geek. But this time I actually found somebody that followed through, so here's my journey. Alright, hey everybody, I'm on my way to pick up my, in chronological order, second Craigslist find for this video, but I'm actually going to edit it and put it first because I never treat my comic book people well anymore. And as far as this show is concerned, the only time that I potentially had something comic book related was when that deal fell through for like all those key issues. So again, which I'm over by now, that I don't consistently bring up. But anyways, this is nothing amazing on those lines, but it's a really good deal, and it could potentially get me into a series that a lot of people really like. So hopefully everything goes off without a hitch, and I'll be able to show you what I got on the other side of this video. So let me set the scene for you a little bit. We're literally still covered in like mile-high snowbanks all around. You know, for some of these Craigslist deals, I'm traversing areas that I'm not really familiar with, and a lot of the houses aren't really marked, and GPS can only get you so far. So I feel like every time I'm going to these Craigslist deals, I always run the risk of like pulling into the wrong parking lot or up to somebody's house that, you know, where I shouldn't be. So in this case, I literally pulled into a giant driveway where an entire Asian family was just shoveling, and I was like, I really hope that this is the place. So I opened my door and I'm like, hey, is so and so here? And they're like, oh yeah, hold on, you know. And I don't know if they're expecting me or they're, you know, what they think I am, but the guy from Craigslist did show himself, and you know, he was a younger kid and he was kind of groggy. And when I'm on these things, I try to break the ice because, you know, meeting people like this can be pretty awkward. So I say, hey, how you doing? And I didn't really get a response, and I wasn't really taken aback by it because it seemed like he worked nights based on, you know, the time frame he gave me to meet him. So then he handed me the books, and again, I'm trying to make a little small talk here, and I was like, oh, you know, so this series lost you, huh? Because he wrote in the ad that he was at first interested in this series and then he just lost interest. Again, nothing, zero response. So I was like, alright, apparently the only language you talk is money. So I handed him the funds and I walked away. But he gave me a really great deal, so I didn't want to trash him too much. But so for the lovely price of $5, I came away with Saga Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. I haven't really given Saga a chance. I picked up a #1 copy, probably like a, you know, like 8th printing or something like that, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't instantly fall in love with it, and I was like still early on in like the reinvigoration of my comic book collecting, so it just wasn't a title that I was like, I need to have it right this second. And you know, since then I've heard, you know, so many people just rave about it, so I really wanted to give it another shot. And what a better opportunity. Now I have like a nice collection of issues, so I can really see where the story goes, and really, I feel like if after 3 volumes, if I still don't like it, then, you know, I gave it an honest shot. And dude, for the price of $5, you can't beat that. I mean, these things retail go for 15 bucks a piece, so if you want to look at it that way, I saved myself, what, $40 by getting it off Craigslist. So great deal, and definitely a good first purchase of comic books on the Craigslist Flippin' show. I just made it seem like Craigslist Flippin' was the host. Okay, anyways, moving on. So now my next purchase is definitely right up my alley. Hello ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I am taking a quick break from being a parent right now to go and seal a Craigslist deal that I've been working on since early this AM. We've been talking back and forth through text, you know, the whole negotiating thing, the whole what's the condition, all that sort of thing. But I think I'm finally going to seal a deal you know, and if you've been a fan of these episodes, you know that usually the things I'm most excited about, I end up getting burned on, either, you know, from dishonest sellers or people swooping in and grabbing it from me. So I think it's finally going to happen this time, but, you know, just my luck, I'll probably get killed in broad daylight because we're meeting at a supermarket. So see how it goes. Peace. So allow me to set the stage. So in the original ad, the kid was asking $90 or best offer for 5 G1 Transformers. Now, I already had 3 of them, but the 2 that were left over were some biggies. So I said, hey, are you willing to sell me just the 2? He says, no, I'm moving to California. Like, I really need to just sell you all of them. You know, I'll give it to you. I'll give you all of them for 70 bucks. And I was like, you know, it's really not worth it that much to me because, again, I have 3 of them already. So would you do 50? He said 60 and it's yours. And then I asked about the condition and he's like, you know what? I'll give it to you for 50 bucks. So we met up in a Whole Foods parking lot and I came away with these guys. So of course I'm going to give you some glamour shots of these guys. So here is the king of the Dinobots, Grimlock. This is pretty much the biggest score of this haul right here. I mean, he is probably the hardest to find or the most expensive. So I'm just giving you a quick 360. I'm not going to go through the trouble of transforming just because I have a short attention span and I'm terrified to touch these guys. But what a major score. And this guy is a total babe. So I love that I have him in my collection. And next in line is Snarl. He's the Stegosaurus. Now this guy is brand new to my my Transformers family. He's out of all the ones I got, he's probably in the worst condition. Come on, stand up. You're making a fool of yourself. He's probably in the worst condition. Like you can tell, his plating looks a little like dirty almost, but it's just like chrome wear. There's nothing you can really do about it. But again, like for what I ended up paying for these, like this was a total steal. And I mean, I could find a Dinobot covered in shit and I would still buy it. So this guy is just phenomenal and brings me that much closer to having a complete Dinobot collection. And then the next 3 figures are ones that I already have, but you know, sticking with Dinobots, I got another Sludge. He looks to be in really good shape, so I'll have to figure out which one I like better, because then the other one might be helping me recoup some of my losses. But he's in really good shape, and it's kind of a bummer because if that other Craigslist deal that I was lined up to get, you know, a few episodes ago actually went through, I would have a complete Dinobot team as part of my collection. So as of right now, I just need Swoop. And then the next 2 guys aren't that exciting, and I already have them, and they're not going to fetch me too much, but if I end up reselling them. But here is Kickback, one of the Insecticons. He turns into like a little grasshopper dude, and he loves to eat metal. And then last but not least, or maybe least, depending on how you look at it, is I believe this is Bone Crusher, one of the Constructicons, obviously. Who's one part of the Mighty Devastator, who I have already almost complete. So yeah, I'll try to find this guy another home, unless the one I have isn't in great shape. And I think his name is Bone Crusher. I don't know, but he's a bulldozer. So if anything, he's Bob the Builder's favorite Transformer. So I basically got all those figures for $10 a piece, and if I end up selling the 3 that I already have on eBay, I'm probably going to get close to getting all my money back. And then after that, he was like, hey, do you like newer Transformers? And I was like, yeah, I like some of them. And dude, he pulled this out and said, I will give you this for 20 bucks. A mint in sealed box Transformers Generations Jetfire figure. Now, I've been all over this figure since it was first announced because I never had a G1 Jetfire, although I do now. And like, I love this Generations line because it combines that G1 look with modern day toy technology. So there's a lot of these figures that I've absolutely adored. Now, I did have the chance to buy this retail. I'm glad I didn't, obviously, but I kind of shied away because the original price tag was like 50 bucks. And I didn't really love the paint job on his weapons. They're kind of like that cheesy chromey that kind of makes it look a little cheap. But for $20, I'm gonna buy this all day, every day. Like, the box is a little beat up, but holy cannoli, what a great deal. And I love that this just fell into my lap. I mean, getting those guys alone would have made my day, and this was just like, not just a cherry, just like a gallon of cherries on top. So that was just a phenomenal deal. It's kind of too bad that that kid was going to be leaving for California, because just from talking to him, it really seemed like you know, he was somebody that it really shares my interest. You know, he goes to conventions. He's more on the horror side of things too, but which I'm not super a part of. But obviously he likes Transformers, comics, you know, all those sort of things. So it's too bad, man. We could have been best friends. And then what a story that would have been to tell our grandkids. I don't know why they would be our grandkids. I guess we would have separate families. But you know, like, oh, how'd you guys meet? Well, we met on Craigslist. You know, I was looking for Transformers and I found a best friend. On a side note, it's kind of funny how much strangers are willing to share with you. I mean, in our limited conversations, I found out all that about him, plus that he was engaged and his fiance's in a rock band, and they're moving to LA to try to make it, and oh, she's also into girls. Not something that I would have necessarily shared with a complete stranger, but, you know, there's a fun fact. Alright guys, so that's going to bring this very successful episode of Craigslist Flippin' to an end. I got a ton of Transformers, which are very near and dear to my heart, and I even got some good reading material that will, you know, hopefully bring me into the Saga universe and endear me even more to you, my subscribers. Before I go, I just have one quick poll of the audience. What color is my ass?